Hey everybody, it's Calvin the Go here, and I just wanted to discuss with you guys today about Blackbeard versus Garp, man. I'm pretty excited to see if that's actually going to end up happening, or it's going to be a kind of a red herring kind of thing where maybe Blackbeard and Garp never actually meet. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little video discussing what would happen if Garp and Blackbeard actually met, and how powerful of an opponent Garp is at this moment, and how powerful Blackbeard is, and kind of giving my thoughts and opinions on what would happen if that matchup actually, went down in the current day and age. Of course, I think it would be a much different scenario if we were talking about Garp in his prime, Garp back in the Roger and Rocks era, right? I think that is someone who is one of the greatest of all time, undisputably. I think he is top 5 of all time if I had to give my, personal estimation. He's someone who, fought with the best of the best ever. Was a part of defeating Shiki, fought Roger, probably had scraps with Whitebeard back in the day as well. So if we were talking about Garp at his prime, I think it would be a win for Garp undoubtedly, especially because a lot of the things that Blackbeard really benefits from is being a Yami Yami no Mi user and being able to take away someone's Devil Fruit. So he's fighting someone who is just a hockey master. I don't think he'll have the same advantages, but at the same time, by the time Blackbeard gets to his peak, which I don't think he's at his peak yet, but by the time Blackbeard gets at his peak and whenever Luffy fights him, I think he's going to be someone who potentially could even be stronger than Roger. I know that kind of sounds crazy to say, but if he is maybe not the final villain, but the second to final villain, the second to last major opponent that Luffy has to face, someone who probably will have 2 awakened Devil Fruits. Maybe he might have 3 as well. I'm not sure if he's gonna ever get that zone Devil Fruit. A lot of people were saying, okay, he has a Logia, he has a Paramecia, so clearly he's gonna get the zone. A lot of people were actually theorizing back when Wano was going on that Blackbeard was gonna pull up with this crew, and somehow he's gonna steal Kaido's Devil Fruit away. But obviously that didn't end up happening. We don't even know if Kaido is still alive, Big Mom is still alive or not yet, right? But end of the day, I think Blackbeard by the end will be super powerful. But let's get into the matchup now. So first of all, Blackbeard has the edge in, I'd say, offensive power and hacks. Hacks being things that not everyone can do, of course. But I think the main difference between the two fighters is hockey. Garp is someone who has to be. I mean, we haven't seen him use hockey yet, but there's no way he's not a hockey master when he's someone without a Devil Fruit, without a weapon, just hands. There's no way he was just out there throwing punches without hockey. Especially because we've also seen him use hockey, right? We've seen him use hockey in the little flashback when it was showing him defeat Dan Chen Zhao and knocking his head in, when he was also destroying multiple mountains with his bare fist, right? So he's someone, I think it's obvious that in terms of raw power, hockey usage, experience, of course, the age has to play a part in that. But no one really talks about Blackbeard's pretty old too, but clearly he's not gonna have the same battle experience that someone like Monkey D. Garp, the legend Garp the Fist, whatever you want to call him, does, right? So end of the day, Garp is gonna have him beat in a couple categories, but then I think that what really makes a big difference is just, I think, mostly portrayal, right? I think the portrayal of a Yonko is just someone who isn't going to lose to someone who's out of their prime. He's made multiple comments about he's out of his prime. Same with Sengoku, same with Rayleigh. All of those guys being, probably Yonko level in their primes, I don't think they have the same oomph. And when it comes to Garp, when it comes to Sengoku, when it comes to Rayleigh, I think you can argue that they would lose to every Admiral as well, not just, a Yonko. I mean, I think there's no way that you could say Garp would beat Kaido one-on-one. And today, because people even argue about all time, I think Kaido is stronger than Blackbeard is currently today, but I think there can be a point in time real soon when you think about just how the importance of Blackbeard is going to really start to come to the forefront. I think he is going to start to separate himself from the other Yonko we've seen, at least today. I know maybe it might be a stretch to say he's the strongest of all time in terms of like a Yonko per se, or someone of that caliber, someone of that ilk, but I think it's obvious that Oda is going to make him put him at the forefront, put him at, the front stage. He's gonna be one of the most impressive antagonists we've ever seen. I think that's fair to say. And the main thing that really is against Garp is narrative, right? Like, narratively, there's no way Garp can win. Like, that. What happens is there's scenarios sometimes where there's a fight where it's like, there's no way this guy can win. Like, kind of like how when Oda gives the major villain of the arc a fight against someone lower tier. Like, there's no way they can win because we know it's going to be Luffy's fight. Like, when we see Kaido against the Scabbards, we know there is not an Ice Cube's chance in hell that Kaido actually loses here. Even when they were getting decent hits in, even when they were kind of making him bleed, making him scream, we knew that there was no way that he was going to lose that battle. We knew that it was going to be Luffy. I know there was a lot of people saying it was going to be Zoro, but we knew it was going to be one of the main characters, at least, if you want to just bring out the Luffy thing. Even though it's obvious when it's a major arc villain, it's gonna be Luffy defeating them. Really, the only time that hasn't happened is like what? Like, I mean, Whole Cake Island, right? But that's something that we knew wasn't really in the plan, even, right? Like, their little assassination plan against Big Mom wasn't even in the works until the mid arc, right? Like, that was not something they went in there thinking they could do. If they thought they were going to have a full-blown assault, full-blown, like, oh yeah, let's go in there and we're going to kill Big Mom, they would have brought everyone, right? Clearly, they went in there, they just wanted to get Sanji and dip, but obviously, we know that their plans never work out the way that they wanted to. We know that Luffy is going to veer off and do stupid things. We know things are going to go wrong. There's no way. We know, and we also know that the second we get into an arc, we're getting split up. I think that's just what happens every arc, and it makes sense because it's hard to really give everyone their shine if they're all, together. But bottom line is, I think it's just hard to see Garp winning here. I don't think he's gonna get washed though. This is gonna be, if we do see this happening, it would be the first time we really see Garp in canon, in the current story, have a major battle, right? I don't think he's gonna make him look weak when we know how much he loves to show off the power of, the old guys. I think everyone, we love thinking back to Whitebeard, thinking back to Rayleigh, thinking back to all these guys. I don't think he's gonna like taint his name, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's obvious that current day Garp is not gonna be able to beat current day Blackbeard, who is arguably going to be one of the greatest of all time by the time he's done with his pirate career, and Garp is out of his prime. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just unbalanced there, right? Like, this should be approaching the prime of Blackbeard, which I don't think is his prime yet, and then this is Garp on the downturn. I don't think he's like weak. I think this would be, if I had to give a difficulty in terms of the fight, I would say it'd be a high diff fight. I kind of want to say mid diff, but that just sounds strange to me, honestly. I think there's a point where you're so powerful where no one could just mid diff you, right? People love saying, oh yeah, an animal get mid diff by, insert anyone's name. I don't think there is anyone all time who is just gonna dog walk an admiral. You know what I'm saying? And I think Garp is on that level. I think if I had to say he was an admiral level combatant, I'd say he's on the lower end. But if we're talking about his prime, of course, he's high, top tier. Top tier. He was fighting the best of all time in Roger. Many duels with Roger, of course. So, held defeat Rock. So I'm not trying to disrespect Garp when I say he's on the lower tier of the admirals, but I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't even make sense to me if current day Garp per se could beat Kizaru or Akainu. I think it really would undermine the power of the Navy if someone who is talking about how they're not in their pride anymore, someone who constantly says, okay, I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I'm still pretty strong, like, if that's their strongest guy, like, if basically the people who say, okay, Garp would be able to kill Akainu at Marineford, I think the only way that even makes sense is if you want to kind of say, oh yeah, Akainu was, you know, getting beat up by Whitebeard, so maybe he's a little weaker, or if it was a cheap shot. I don't know. Like, you know, I think everyone's kind of seen the little art about that, but end of the day, I just don't think it makes sense if Garp was the strongest admiral, strongest guy the Navy has current day. Of course, back then, I think he's the strongest ever. I think Sengoku's right with him, but it just wouldn't even make sense in my opinion. I think that'd be really trash for the Navy to have their strongest guy be someone who's 73, 72 years old, right? And in terms of Blackbeard, we know the narrative. We know how strong he's going to be. We know he's going to be one of Luffy's in-game opponents, and we're seeing how powerful Luffy is. Luffy was able to knock out Kaido just last arc, right? And he's going to get stronger, stronger, stronger. So by the time Blackbeard sees Luffy, he's going to be uber powerful, with Gear 5 mastered, with Conqueror's Coding mastered. Like, it's going to be disgusting seeing how powerful Luffy will be at that point. And I think Blackbeard is going to be winning that fight for most of it before Luffy kind of gets a little comeback, right? That's normally how these fights go. Luffy will be on the downturn for a really long time, and then he will rise above it, kind of like Katakuri, kind of like Kaido a bit. Kaido is different because he had help, of course, and Kaido had to fight a bunch of people, but at the end of the day, we know that Luffy will win, so that's that. So yeah, end of the day, I'd say the fight will be high diff, but I don't think Blackbeard will ever be in danger of losing. But I do think that Garp can get some good hits in, especially because, like I said, you know, the hockey Devil Fruit thing, he's not gonna have that advantage. He still will use the Yami Yami no Mi, of course, and I haven't even really talked about how he has the Gurga no Mi. So I know I kind of acted like that's like, you know, secondary. But the Blackbeard we've seen to this point primarily has been using the Yami Yami no Mi. You know, in the fights we've seen him fight against Ace, seen him fight against Law. It seems like when he really got serious with Law, which we didn't even really get to see the continuation of the fight, but it seems like when he really got serious with Law is when he started to use the Kurozu, started to use the Yami Yami no Mi. He started off using the earthquake techniques, and then as it went on, kind of went back into the bag with the Yami Yami no Mi, something that I think he might even have awakened. So Blackbeard, as powerful as we've seen him already, he might have more things going for him when it comes to, you know, maybe Conqueror's Coding, maybe Awakening. I know there have been some people who say that he may not even have Conquerors, but I think that'd be kind of lame. But if Oda really wants to push the full-blown Devil Fruit route, he might give him a third Devil Fruit, which kind of negates the usage of Conqueror's Haki, in my opinion. Because if you have 3 Devil Fruits, then what do you really need Haki for? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's overwhelming power, especially if all 3 are awakened, right? So, I've kind of went on enough today. I appreciate you guys for watching this video today. I really appreciate if you guys can like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video today. Calvin the Goat signing out. Have a good day, guys.